In the grand tapestry of the Ottoman Empire, few threads are as bold and dramatic as the one woven by Sultan Selim I. Known to his people as Yavuz, or the Stern, his short but explosive reign of just 8 years would forever alter the map of the world and redefine the very soul of his empire. This is the story of how one man's iron will and strategic genius expanded the Ottoman domain to an unprecedented scale, conquering the heart of the Middle East and claiming the spiritual leadership of the entire Muslim world. Before Selim, the Ottoman Empire was a formidable power, but its focus was largely on Europe. The sultans in Istanbul were conquerors, statesmen, and patrons of the arts, but one title had eluded them: Caliph, the spiritual successor to the Prophet Muhammad and the leader of all Sunni Muslims. This title was held by a puppet ruler under the control of another mighty empire to the south, the Mamluk Sultanate of Egypt. Meanwhile, to the east, a new and charismatic power was rising, the Safavid Empire of Persia, led by Shah Ismail, who championed a different branch of Islam, Shia Islam, and posed a direct ideological and military threat. The stage was set for a monumental clash of titans, and Selim was the man to ignite it. Selim's path to the throne was ruthless. He saw his father, Bayezid II, as too passive, too hesitant in the face of growing threats. In 1512, with the support of the elite Janissary corps, Selim forced his father to abdicate, securing the throne for himself. His first order of business was to eliminate all potential rivals, a harsh but common practice to ensure stability. With his power consolidated at home, Selim turned his gaze eastward. He viewed Shah Ismail and the Safavids not just as a political rival, but as a grave religious threat to the Sunni orthodoxy of his empire. He was determined to meet this challenge head-on. The inevitable collision came in 1514, on the plains of Chaldiran in modern-day Iran. Shah Ismail's army was a fearsome force, famed for its zealous Qizil-Bash cavalry. They fought with a fervor born of deep religious conviction, but Selim was a master of modern warfare. He brought with him a revolutionary combination of military technology. Thousands of janissaries armed with muskets, supported by a massive train of field cannons, all shielded behind a mobile fortress of wagons chained together. The Safavid cavalry, armed with traditional lances and swords, charged bravely, but they were no match for Ottoman firepower. The Battle of Chaldiran was a decisive and bloody victory for Selim. Shah Ismail was wounded and barely escaped, his aura of invincibility shattered forever. Selim marched into the Safavid capital of Tabriz, and while he couldn't hold the territory permanently, he had successfully neutralized the eastern threat, securing his flank for the even greater prize that lay to the south. With the Safavids checked, Selim turned his attention to the Mamluk Sultanate. For centuries, the Mamluks, a warrior class of slave origin, had ruled over Egypt, Syria, and the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. They were the custodians of the Islamic heartlands, but their military tactics had stagnated, still relying on the superb horsemanship and chivalry that had defeated the Mongols and Crusaders centuries earlier. Selim saw weakness and opportunity. In 1516, he accused the Mamluks of collaborating with the Safavids and declared war. The two armies met at Marj Abik, just north of Aleppo in Syria. The Mamluk cavalry, magnificent in their traditional armor, charged the Ottoman lines. Just as at Chaldiran, they were met with a hail of musket balls and cannon fire. The Mamluk Sultan was killed, and his army disintegrated. The path to the heart of the Mamluk Empire was now wide open. Selim marched his army south through Syria and Palestine, meeting little resistance. The final confrontation took place in January 1517, just outside the ancient city of Cairo, at the Battle of Ridania. The Mamluks made a desperate last stand, even trying to use their own cannons, but it was too little, too late. The Ottoman army, disciplined and technologically superior, overwhelmed them. Selim entered. Cairo in triumph, the Mamluk Sultanate, a power that had dominated the Middle East for over 250 years, ceased to exist. In a single brilliant campaign, Selim had conquered a vast and wealthy empire, doubling the size of his own. The conquest of Egypt brought unimaginable riches into the Ottoman treasury. Egypt was the breadbasket of the Mediterranean and a crucial hub on the lucrative spice trade routes from India. Suddenly, the Ottoman Empire controlled the flow of goods and wealth between East and West. But the most significant prize was not material. With the Mamluk Sultanate gone, Selim now controlled the holy cities of Mecca and Medina. He took the title Qadim al-Haramain al-Sharifain, the servant of the two holy sanctuaries. This was a title of immense prestige. The keys to the Kaaba in Mecca were presented to him. More importantly, Selim found the last Abbasid Caliph, a purely ceremonial figure who had been living under Mamluk protection in Cairo. Selim brought him to Istanbul. According to tradition, it was here that the Caliph formally transferred his title and its symbols, the sword and mantle of the Prophet Muhammad, to Sultan Selim. From that moment on, the Ottoman Sultan was also the Caliph, the spiritual leader of the world's Sunni Muslims. This was a monumental shift. The Ottoman Empire was no longer just a Turkish state. It was now the undisputed leader of the Islamic world, its legitimacy sealed not just by conquest, but by divine right. In just a few short years, Selim the Stern had redrawn the political and religious map of the world. His conquests formed the foundation of the Ottoman Empire for the next 400 years. He was a ruthless and fearsome ruler, but also a brilliant strategist and a devout man who saw himself as a champion of his faith. His reign was short, ending in 1520 when he died from an illness, but his legacy was immense. He passed on to his son, who would become known as Suleiman the Magnificent, an empire that was larger, richer, and more powerful than ever before. Selim laid the groundwork, and his son would build upon it to bring the Ottoman Empire to its golden age. The echo of Yavuz Sultan Selim's cannons at Chaldiran and Ridania would resonate for centuries, a testament to the man who conquered the Middle East and made the Ottoman Sultan the Caliph of all Islam. Thank you for watching. If you found this journey into history fascinating, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration of the past. See you next time.